Hey internet friends, today we're talking about New York, the 11th state to ratify the Constitution, the birthplace of LGBT rights in the USA, home to the city that never sleeps, where the energy is unmatched, housing over 8 million people, and the United Nations headquarters. And down below, the New York City Federal Reserve Bank has what is allegedly the largest reserve of gold 80 feet under the city. Kind of like a dragon slayer, totaling close to 7,000 tons of gold. There's so many people buzzing around at any given time, so much commotion, that you already know something strange is always happening in the city that never sleeps. But today I want to discuss a huge story that's barely made headlines. The ominous warnings New Yorkers have received from their government, implying that Gotham might go dark soon. Let's travel back to 2 weeks ago, when the New York City Emergency Management YouTube channel uploaded a nuclear preparedness public service announcement, disabling the comments, of course. The PSA begins with the narrator walking along an NYC street saying, "Don't ask me how or why, just know that the big one has hit. Okay?" Then proceeds to list off 3 steps for New Yorkers. The steps being get inside, stay inside, and follow the media for updates for the next steps after an attack. Side note, remember in the final installation of the Batman movie series when Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne transports the nuke away from Gotham at the last moment after the military refuses to let citizens, even buses full of children, leave the city? A little predictive programming? Anyone? Just so you know, the last time NYC made a PSA on nuclear war was 1962. You gotta admit this PSA is just a little bit silly, elementary, stupid. Even if people manage to survive the initial blast, the EMP from the nuke will knock out most of the electronics. So you're not going to be logging onto Twitter to see what the government has told you to do next, making all of this advice fairly useless. They don't tell you to stock up on food, water, medicine. They just tell you to get inside your house, close the doors, take a shower if you've been exposed to the radiation and fallout, and just follow the media. Stay tuned. You got this. I won't be surprised if in the next few weeks they'll do like a PSA with Fauci, and he'll say, if you survive the nuclear attack, don't forget to get your booster, which will reduce the effects of nuclear fallout, and most definitely shorten your hospital stay. Also, don't forget to social distance and wear your mask. Also, as a note to our frontline workers, our nurses, our doctors, our morgue workers, if the victim tested COVID positive within the last 28 days, the victim will still be classified as a COVID death after nuclear fallout. That was my best effort at a Fauci impression, and it still wasn't very good. Anyway, moving on. Of course, New Yorkers want to know what's up with this PSA, and during a press conference on July 12th, I'm directly reading from an article here. A reporter asked Mayor Eric Adams whether the PSA was alarmist. To this, Adams answered, quote, "No, I don't think it was alarmist. I'm a big believer in better safe than sorry." He added, this was right after the attacks in the Ukraine. Side note, the Ukraine? What is the Ukraine? I don't understand this phenomenon of calling it the Ukraine. Anyway, continuing, the Office of Emergency Management took a very proactive step to say, let's be prepared. And it doesn't mean just a nuclear attack, it means any natural disaster. End quote. So just several days later after that press conference, on July 20th, the mayor released this bizarre ad for NYC tap water. So weird, so strange. I have never in my life seen an advertisement for tap water. Never. It's funny because in this ad, you never see him actually fill up his glass from the tap. So it's speculated that not even he is drinking the tap water. Come on, hun, let's see you drink the fluoride. As an aside, if you just woke up today and you decided to start questioning everything and you don't know already, fluoride is shown to lower IQ significantly. And while these studies and their findings speak for themselves, bringing up this subject is almost always dismissed as a conspiracy theory, even though it definitely, no pun intended, holds water. Not to exhaust the whole Batman predictive programming, but in Batman Begins, the first installation of the Christian Bale Batman trilogy, The main villain, Scarecrow, was poisoning Gotham's water supply. Scarecrow, who's a corrupt psychiatrist, develops a fear toxin made from these little blue flowers that were also used by the League of Shadows earlier in the movie. And he planned to destroy the city by dumping the toxin into the water and sending the city into a panic-fueled frenzy. The League of Shadows wanted to take Scarecrow's plan a step further, using military-grade microwave weapons to vaporize the water supply so that it's inhaled as a gas, effectively poisoning all of Gotham. At any rate, I bring it up because hypothetically, theoretically, etc., if you wanted to mass medicate a population, well, the water supply seems like an effective way to go. But the fun doesn't stop there, and the plot continues to thicken. One incident after another, the next stranger than the last. Just a few days ago, NYC Emergency Management issued yet another PSA, but this time it had nothing to do with nuclear fallout. The PSA reads, "A go bag has everything you need in case you need to leave home in a hurry. Every household member should have one, including kids. What will you pack?" And then it lists out things like non-perishable snacks, bottled water, copies of important documents. By the way, maybe I should just issue a PSA of my own. If things have gone south, you need more than a few Little Debbies and bottled water in your driver's license. You probably need something that goes pew pew, first aid kits, more water than you think you need, something to barter, a plan of escape, especially from a densely populated city hellscape where your neighbors are your biggest threat to survival right after the government. It's weird because all of these PSAs are being played off like it's responsible emergency management. And yeah, I can spot a plot device from a mile away. I got degrees in English literature. And literature and writing, this is called foreshadowing, or an indication or a hint of what's going to happen later on in the story. From where I'm sitting, there's a few possible reasons why they are releasing these PSAs, and none of them are about educating the public for their safety and preparedness. The masses are manipulated through fear. They are so easy to control when they're afraid. They deliberately keep people afraid to distract them. They do things with the right hand while the left hand does something else, and the audience doesn't notice what the left hand's doing. They've been constantly stripping away our rights, our freedoms. The economy is in free fall. The dollar is in decline. So yeah, it could be a distraction, or they could be signaling what they plan to do. They always have to tell you first. I don't know. There's some rule to this reality where they have to tell you what they're about to do before they do it. On the geopolitical stage, tensions couldn't be higher. And not one single person in Washington, D.C. is trying to de-escalate. Obviously, they want you to be scared of nuclear war, so you go along with this whole globalist New World Order. And there's nothing the globalist New World Order loves more than this whole phoenix rising from the ashes trope, where you build back better once everything is destroyed. And as a remedy, I recommend that we should send more money to Ukraine. What do you think, internet friends? You know, I always look forward to reading your comments. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and supporting my channel on Patreon. Bye!